Hi everyone, welcome to your daily reading. Today is Tuesday, September 14th, but all of my readings will be timeless, so whenever you happen upon this video, hopefully it will resonate with you. Okay, so let's get started. This is just going to be a general reading for anyone checking in. Let's see what we currently have going on. Okay, first card to come up, Archangel Rafael, provider of healing for mind, body, and spirit. Specifically, I feel like someone is dealing with difficult energies that are caused by the mind, but impacting the body as well. A lot of times I know we forget to make the connection to the mind and body, but emotions, you guys, can really, really wreak havoc on your physical health and cause so many different types of symptoms and things that you might not be realizing. So this card is calling for you to ask Archangel Raphael for some assistance with that. You can pray to him ideally before you go to sleep, I would say, because they can really heal you while you're sleeping. That's a very good time when your body is not resisting healing. And it's a naturally healing time for the body anyway. It's a good time for restoration during sleep. So call upon Archangel Raphael for assistance with that. And specifically, I do feel like for some of you, this is pertaining to a matter of the heart. So this could be turbulence in a relationship or the conclude of a relationship, which can cause a lot of frustration and thoughts and things that can interfere with sleep and just interfere with overall health. So at this time, I would also really encourage you to just focus on self-health and self-healing and growth. And if you are experiencing some difficulties in a relationship, just remember that every single relationship in your life stems from you. You're at the core of everything. You're the epicenter of every single thing that happens in your life, every interaction, every relationship, whether it's with career, finances, family, a loved one, colleagues, co-workers. You're the common denominator there. So if you'd like to heal any of those things or relationships or make them smoother, it's always going to start with you. If you're not sure where to begin your healing journey, I would encourage you to start keeping a daily journal. That can be really beneficial to you. And you can just start with a simple prompt like, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeling today? And just check in with yourself. That's a really, really good place to start when it comes to healing any sort of relationship, is just to first get very clear on where it is that you're at. And you want to do that by checking in as often as you can to see how you're feeling and what you're feeling. Without judgment, you don't have to have any opinion. Just try to be as observational as possible. And it's also a good thing to do before bedtime because it can really help to get your thoughts out of you so that they're not plaguing your sleep and disturbing your sleep. So there we go, Archangel Raphael, it's the first card. And this is actually the overall energy for the reading. Archangel Raphael, I would say, is really going to be just at the core of this entire reading, and anything that you're needing assistance with, that's who you're going to call upon for that assistance. Let's see, what else do we have for the collective? Oh wow, this one really jumped out. Next, 7 deadly sins. Humanity's destructive traits. So what's coming to me on this card is that some of you are needing a detox. You're needing a detox from some destructive traits. And I would surmise that those traits actually have to do with technology, whether it be obsessively getting onto social media, looking there too often. And actually this is going back to a relationship for some of you. I feel like you're really wanting to know what's going on with your person or see what's going on with a past person. And it's really important to just let that go. Just focus on self. If you're going through a breakup or you're having a challenging time, the best thing you can do is take a detox from social media. Just really give yourself that time and space to heal. And the less you see of the other person, the more you're going to feel of yourself, which is really ideal in your healing process. And definitely a technology detox as much as you can do. I would say even from things like this, let's say you're watching card readings and things like that, That can be really healthy and beneficial to you, but you don't want to overdo it. I would say if you're binging multiple readings a day, it's probably a good idea to take a step back from that. Maybe just limit yourself to one reading every few days, or perhaps just one reading a week. Because what's going to happen is if you're binging on too many things, those energies are going to cloud your cognition. They're going to cloud your mind. It's going to cloud your emotions. It's going to distract from emotions, which don't go away, by the way. They're just going to get worse and more amplified. And it'll just keep pushing things that you could be dealing with today. It'll be pushing them further into the future, which is not going to be beneficial to you. So yeah, this one definitely, 7 Deadly Sins. I do feel like it's relevant to today's times and technology. So give yourself the challenge of a technology detox, even if you're not doing it today, perhaps the weekend coming up, even if it's just a day or two, see what you can do that feels good. And if you can, try to incorporate it into a regular routine. Maybe you do it once every 2 weeks or once a month, whatever works for you. Okay, let's see what we have next. For some of you as well, that's also pertaining to food. If you're eating a lot of garbage because you're not feeling well, that's actually going to just feed into those lower energies and make you feel even worse than you already do, which is not good. So if you're having a challenging time, I'd really encourage you to eat as healthful and nutritive as you can, and try to stay away from anything that's very heavily preservative based or really heavy in sugar, because those things are really going to, again, interfere with your sleep, interfere with emotions, interfere with hormones, and just leave you feeling depleted when you're waking in the morning, which you really don't need on top of dealing with anything emotional or physical. Let's see, what else do we have for the collective for today? Oh, this one jumped out. Birthday. A significant birthday holds the answer to your question. This card is really, it's a beautiful card because I think it's just reminding to celebrate your birthday, celebrate you. Something that I like to do when it comes to my birthday, I don't celebrate the year. I just celebrate the date that I was born. And so I try to treat each year as year one, because it's a new year with a different set of circumstances. I usually have a whole different knowledge base after another year. And it's also a really good way to separate yourself from ageism, so that you're not feeling aged or feeling older, or especially if you're a woman, we tend to resist aging, but aging can be a really graceful, beautiful process. And also, birthdays are very special because a lot of times you can really capture that excitement of possibility on a birthday. And you don't need to wait until your birthday in order to capture that energy. Something that I will regularly do, you guys, and I don't know anyone else that does this, but it's something I do pretty frequently, depending on how I'm feeling. I will go and get a favorite dessert or ice cream, like a little mini tiramisu or cheesecake, and I will put a birthday candle in it and just blow it out randomly any day of the week, anytime I feel like I'm a little bit down or I'd like to make a wish. And, you know, when you do that, you feel childlike again. You feel like there's possibility, there's wonder in the world, and it's a really great way to capture that excitement and newness of, you know, just being alive and enjoying life and getting to make wishes and see those wishes become fulfilled. So this card, really beautiful. Just remember birthday, and even though it might not be your actual birthday, you can always be celebrating the day of your birth, and you can do that any single time you want, and it will be it's just a really fun thing to do. And I also whenever I take a bath, I always light candles, and when I'm done at the end of the bath and I'm blowing out the candles, and this is a nightly thing for me, I make a wish once I've blown the candles out. So that's just a special little thing you can do for yourself. And also work on cultivating celebratory rituals for yourself is coming up. It's really important to be commemorating any milestones in your life, whether it be a birthday or starting a new job, launching a career that you've been wanting, perhaps ending something that's not been good for you, starting a new cycle that's good for you. It's important to celebrate milestones in your life, no matter what they're for, so that you're feeling excited and you're also able to see how far you've come and any progress that you've made. So make sure that you're taking that time out to just celebrate self and just celebrate life and celebrate how far you've come. And again, let's get back to the journaling for a minute. If you guys are keeping a journal, if you already do that, a great way to see how far you've come is to look back at previous journal entries. Even if you just go a month back or a few months, 6 months, a year, to see that progression and evolution of self and how far you've come, whether it's emotionally or here in the material world, seeing things manifest, or just hitting different milestones, whether it be with career or in your personal life. That's a really good way to see how far you've come, and that's something that can motivate you to continue forward as well. And I love doing that. I love looking at old journals, and it's like I've come so far now. It's like journals from a few years ago. It feels like I'm reading a story of a completely different person, and it always it's just good to have those reminders of how far you come. And every now and then I'll get a good laugh as well, because I'm just such a different person now than I was even a year ago. So okay, let's see what else I have for you guys. Ooh, those really jumped out, you guys. 3 cards come out that time. Mind over matter. Create thoughts that empower you. Really important. This is important for you guys to feel like you have a level of control over your life. You can write out your own personal affirmations, and you write them in accordance with what it is that you're wanting to call into your life. And just remember that your mind is a tool. Your mind is a tool that you can utilize. And if it's not working with you, then you can be implementing different tools and techniques that can help your mind to get on the same page with what you're wanting in life, what you're wanting to experience, what you're wanting to call in, what you're wanting to create, the type of relationships that you're wanting to have. So I like to write out affirmations, and I will leave them on little note cards, and I'll leave them just different places around my home. I especially love to leave them around vanities, because then when you see them, you can read them aloud while you're looking into the mirror. That's a really good way to get things to sink into the subconscious more quickly. So let's say, for example, those of you that are struggling with a relationship, if you're having difficulty in a relationship, the best way to heal that is going to be to cultivate more self-love and work on deepening that relationship that you have with self. So a good affirmation that you could use is, and this is actually from Marissa Peer. I love her, you guys. She gives really good information on self-love and how to navigate that journey. And it's very simple. You just look in the mirror and say, you are deeply lovable. You are deeply lovable. And then just allow yourself to just stand there for a minute and feel what that feels like. And if you're new to affirmations, it's probably going to feel really awkward at first and like it's not setting in. You might even think it's just hocus pocus and dismiss it altogether. But I guarantee you guys, if you can commit to a daily practice of saying that in the mirror, I am deeply lovable, you are deeply lovable, just even twice a day after a few weeks can really start transforming how you feel about yourself. And it's so important to change how you feel about yourself and deepen that love and have a more optimistic view of self if you're wanting to deepen a connection with others. Because if you are wanting for that divine love in life, but you don't fully love and accept self, it's going to be impossible for a partner to come in and do the same. And even if they do, it will be short-lived, it'll be fool's gold, and if you lose it, you'll feel really unfulfilled because you weren't coming from a place of feeling fully loved and full to begin with. So that's a really good one. Mind over matter. Create thoughts that empower you. I deserve my dreams. That's another really good one. I am deserving of everything that I dream about. I deserve to see my dreams come to fruition. I give myself permission to have everything that I want and need in life. I am deeply lovable. I am enough. That's another power statement from Marissa Peer. So just play with that, you guys. Even just writing out one powerful affirmation and working with that. Work with that for a few weeks and see, you'll start feeling differently about self. And once you start feeling differently about self, others start feeling differently about you as well. And you'll see that positive change mirrored in other areas of your life, not just with your relationship with yourself or your loved ones, but other areas as well. So that's a really, really beautiful, that one came out. Choices. Make choices that are best for you. I love this, you guys, because this is all really, really focusing on just deepening that self-love that we were talking about, focusing on, you know, mind, body, spirit coherence, detoxing from anything that's not serving you, celebrating your life, your birthday, any milestones, creating thoughts that are empowering to you, and then also making choices that are best for you. This card is so, so important. A lot of us are really good at making decisions for others, giving advice to others, but when it comes to choices for ourselves, a lot of times we'll back ourselves into a corner and we make it seem like we don't have options and we're doing things that we don't want to do, don't feel good to us, don't benefit us in any way, don't elevate us. And it's really important to get back to self. And if you're not used to putting yourself first and making choices that are beneficial to you, it's probably going to feel a little bit challenging at first, but that's normal. It's going to be something new. And whenever you try something new, you know, the body doesn't like that. Humans don't like that. We don't like change, even if it's new and good for us. So just be patient with yourself. And I would encourage you to start small. Just making one choice a day, that's what you want. It could be something as simple as deciding what you would like to eat for lunch and committing to that. Let's say you have a work environment where you typically congregate with other people in the lunchroom, but that doesn't feel good to you because, you know, sometimes at work there can be just little tiffs and, you know, political things happening in the workplace that can really just deplete our spirit. So let's say instead of doing that, perhaps you just opt to sit with yourself somewhere. Or maybe there's a nice courtyard nearby you could go sit at, or go to a park, or yeah, just something little like that. Just start small, start where you're comfortable, but start somewhere and start with something, because those little things can lead up to making choices that are really going to impact your life in a more powerful and profound way. But it's a good place to start small so that you build up the confidence and you feel good and safe to do so. This next card, Animal Bond. You have a special relationship with animals. This card is really just encouraging you guys to get out in nature. Definitely make sure you're getting grounded. And being around animals can be so incredibly beneficial to your mind, body, and spirit, because a lot of times when you're around animals, even if you're just observing and not necessarily interacting with them, it's something that just really helps to simplify life, and it can really help to calm and settle your mind. I have a little chihuahua and I just love spending time with her, and I love watching her, and like right now she's sleeping and I'm watching her sleep, and she just warms my heart. And she's having her in my life and getting to see her every single day is something that really really just keeps me from feeling so sad all the time. If I am going through a difficult time, just watching her and see how she interacts in her world and navigates this life, it just reminds me to slow down and try to live in the same way. A lot of times when you watch animals, they're just really focused in the moment. It's either they're napping or they're playing or they want to go outside and get some fresh air, or they're already outside just mingling with others of their species like squirrels and things like that. But watching animals in nature can be really, really just good medicine, good for your soul, and a good way to slow down. And this goes hand in hand as well with detoxing, I would say, from technology. Let's say you normally spend, I don't know, 30 minutes or an hour on social media in the evenings. Try switching out that time with just going outside, spending time in nature. You might not necessarily be observing animals during that time, but you'll certainly be hearing them. I mean, whether it's birds or insects or, I mean, anything, you guys, to just get out in nature and be surrounded in that energy and that symphony that's created by natural sounds and the sounds of animals. It's just something that can be really healing for your mind, body, and spirit, and help you feel more balanced. And if you do get outside, definitely go barefoot as well, because grounding is really, really good for your body, really good for your soul. It can help you feel like you are, you know, firmly planted on the ground again, back in reality, especially if you are feeling, like a lot of us, feeling the stresses that the collective is going through right now, just with the nature of everything. Grounding can be a really good way to kind of calm the mind and body and just get you to a place where you're feeling like you have more homeostasis. Okay. Let's see. This last deck I'm going to pull from is Earth Magic. I love this deck. It's been a really beautiful reading so far. With the animal bonding as well, you guys, I want to say, if you don't have access to animals, let's say you're an animal lover, but you don't have a pet, if you know someone with a pet, go spend time with that pet. You guys can sign up to be a dog walker for just a day or something, you know, pet sit. You can go down to your local shelter and volunteer. Even different pet stores will have adoption days and things like that. So if you're not a pet owner, you definitely still have options for being around animals. And so look into what those opportunities are as well. Because even if you just do that once a month, it's something that you can give back and be helping animals, but also getting to spend that time with them. It's very therapeutic for you as well. So that's going to feel really good, that give and take. Let's see. What else do we have for the collective? Cards are being stubborn. This last card, then, I'm feeling like, I think this will be, well, the last two cards came out here. Let's see what we've got. Oh, 3. Waterfall. Effortless. It's interesting because this last shuffle was really taking a while. And so I'm getting the message from Spirit that you're making things harder than they need to be. Waterfall. Effortless. And I think this is directly pertaining to someone out there that's watching this is dealing with a relationship that you're trying to fight, you're trying to make it work, you're trying to push it, and it should be effortless. It should just be a flow. It should be easy breezy. And if it's not, you really need to be taking a deeper look at it. I'm not saying that love is always going to be easy breezy. I'm not saying that there won't be some opportunities that come up for you that are going to be healing, that might be disruptive, that might feel a bit turbulent. But if you are fighting to hold on to something or to keep something, it's really important to ask yourself, what am I doing here? Is this really what I want? And just remember, it should be effortless. Life is so heavy anyway. Love and relationships, that should be light. I recently saw this because, you guys, I'm going through my own challenge right now at the end of a relationship. And so if you're experiencing that, my heart is with you. I know what that feels like. I know it's not pleasant, but you definitely can heal from it. And it can be a really beautiful reminder to get back to self, especially if you are putting a lot of energy into something that's not working out, or perhaps that the other person isn't wanting. When you take a look at how much you're putting into that, if you were to take that energy and put it into self, you could be in a really, really, really beautiful place with self. You could be starting a new business. You could be working on just improving your self-esteem, improving your confidence, working on hobbies and things that you've put off for a long time. But just remember, these things, they should be effortless. And if it doesn't feel good, there's usually a reason. That's a sign from the divine. If you're feeling rejected, it's important to remind yourself that sometimes rejection is the divine's protection. Also, a really good thing to do, getting back to the journaling. If you guys are struggling, write down what is easy here, whether it's with this relationship or career, whatever it is that you guys are struggling with. Write down, what is it that is easy here? And then write down what the challenges are, where the adversity comes in. See which list is longer. And then if you need to, you're gonna make an assessment based on what you see. You're gonna go back to making choices for yourself. If it feels good, do it. If it doesn't, don't. You always have the choice. Remind yourself what your choices are and choose wisely, and choose in a way that honors self, honors your wants, your needs, your desires. You deserve to have that. If you forget that you're deserving of that, you're going to get back to writing out those affirmations that I told you about, mind over matter. Just saying what you deserve. I am deeply lovable. I deserve to be deeply loved. I give deep love, and I deserve to receive that back. I allow myself to receive that back. I am open to receiving that back. Really good. This next one, Autumnal Equinox, Release. I'm so glad this card came up because, you guys, fall is upon us, and I'm so incredibly excited. Autumn is a really, really good time to just start releasing things that you don't want to be carrying any longer. So you can do something as simple as lighting a candle, writing out a letter of the things that you want to release. You can wait and do that on a full moon. Another thing you can do to release, and this goes directly to relationships, or if you guys are struggling with any sort of interactions, whether it's a love relationship or a familial connection, something that can be really healing and helping you release any heavier emotions, especially where you don't feel you have the opportunity to directly speak to that person or express fully to that person. You can write out letters that you're not actually going to give to that person. You can just write out what you're feeling as exactly as you would want to say it, as close as you would want to say it as possible. And so that means without judgment, without trying to change it. You're not writing it out for anyone to read. It's just for you to get those emotions out of you, so they're no longer burdening, plaguing mind, body, and spirit. If you're struggling with that, ask Archangel Rafael again to assist you with allowing yourself to feel what you feel. Release it in a letter. And what you'll do, you can tear up the letter and get it out of your home immediately after you've written it. And you want to write it out if you can. I wouldn't suggest typing it or like texting it or anything like that digitally. You want to actually write it out so that energy is pulled out of the body. And rip it up, take it out, throw it away out of the home so that the energy is away from you. Or ideally, what you'll want to do is release those letters in a bonfire or a little fire if you can. Of course, you guys, make sure where you live that it's safe and you're able to burn fires right now. I'm not telling anybody to go out there and start a forest fire, but if you have the means and you're able to, definitely just write out anything you're wanting to release. It doesn't have to be a letter to a person. It can be any emotions that you've been carrying. Perhaps cycles that you've been carrying for a long time, any cycle with yourself that you're wanting to release, that you're no longer wanting to repeat. Write out what it is, what the cycle is specifically. Write out why it's no longer serving you, why it doesn't benefit you, why you would like to release it. And then also what you are calling in, what you would like to call in replacement of that cycle or pattern. If you want to release something old, write out what it is and then get ready to call in what it is that you're wanting to replace that with that's actually going to be beneficial to you and good for you. Really exciting. This is also a good time, you guys, to declutter in the home. A really good time to get rid of anything that is heavying your energy, weighing you down. It's really important to look around you and see how your environment is feeling. You should feel good when you're in your home. It should feel clear. It should feel welcoming. It should be a place where you want to spend time. And if you have items that are holding on to some heavier emotions or bringing up some heavier emotions, it might be time to clear those things out. Take a look around you, and if there are things in the home that are not making you feel good but are actually making you feel really sad, if there are things that you can part with, I'd really encourage you to do that. Really great time to do that. Releasing the old so you can welcome in the new, making space for the new. When it comes to partners, that's something I need to say as well. For some of you that are perhaps experiencing a breakup, maybe you have some of the things that your partner's left behind, return them to that person. If you can't, go ahead and get rid of them. Try not to hold on to anything that's got energy for you, that's a point of pain, because if it's in the home, even if you don't notice it, it's around you and it holds that energy, and that energy can be a drain on you, even if you're not aware of it. And then let's see here, this last card that we have, we're gonna finish up with this one, dance, celebration. Beautiful, I love this. And this goes hand in hand with the birthday one, and I would say celebrating milestones, but just remembering to just keep things light and enjoyable. And that this is a time for celebration, always. You don't need any special occasion other than life to celebrate. Let's say you just got through the week and you did it as best you could. You were as emotionally present as you could be. You tried to have interactions as lovingly as you could. Any little thing like that, it's cause for celebration. It doesn't have to be a huge thing in order for you to be celebrating. Dance, I would say as well, physically, dancing is a really, really good way, again, to get some heavy energies out of the body. You want to get things physically out of you as much as you can. So if you're having any pains or things like that, things that are attached especially to emotional pains, dancing can be a great release. Something that I like to do, if I've given myself the time to cry, a lot of times I'll finish with dancing. Sometimes releasing heavier things can feel heavy, and dance or any sort of movement afterward, it can be a really great way to keep that energy moving out of you and leave you feeling more elevated, feeling happier, feeling joyful. So I'm really glad that that card came up as well. Okay, so that's the last card I have for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I really hope that it resonated with you. You guys, I do personal readings as well, and I will put the information for that in the description box down below, and I will see you in the next reading.